The Olmec's sudden emergence and equally abrupt disappearance weave a historical tapestry rich with intrigue and unanswered questions.
This is what I mean by them distorting the timeline. You'll hear it all the time. The sudden emergence of the Olmec civilization. Yes, it was a sudden emergence. It's the accomplished people from the Mali Empire that traveled to Mexico in the early 1300s. Very skilled people from the Mali Empire can create an amazing civilization elsewhere easily. Hence the sudden emergence. By the liars pushing the history to 1200 BC or so, things don't make sense, and yes, there are unanswered questions. You put the history in the proper timeline, and yes, things start to make sense. And who in history made pyramids? The Africans. They love robbing black people of their history. They won't be able to maintain their lives for much longer.
The narrative begins by challenging traditional Eurocentric views of ancient Egyptian, Kemet, history. Evidence suggests that the foundations of this civilization were overwhelmingly African, rooted in the kingdom of Tarseti within the Nubian Nile Valley. Archaeological findings indicate that at least a dozen black kings reigned in Nubia before the first Egyptian dynasty was ever established. This southern influence is evident in the development of religious elements, political structures, and even the hieroglyphic writing system, all of which have roots in the Sudan. Scholars now emphasize a chronological progression of three significant Nile Valley civilizations: Kush, Nubia, and finally Kemet. This framework positions Kemet not as an isolated phenomenon, but as the dawn of a culture that evolved from its southern African neighbors. By recognizing this timeline, we see that African civilization was already thriving in its very dawn long before the periods typically highlighted in Western textbooks. The discussion then shifts to the Americas, specifically the Olmec civilization. While mainstream history often dates the Olmecs to 1200 BC, this summary highlights a theory that their sudden emergence is better explained by the arrival of skilled travelers from the Mali Empire in the early 1300s. This perspective argues that the Olmecs' rapid development in areas like pyramid building, a hallmark of African engineering, aligns with the documented maritime capabilities of the Mali Empire, which reportedly sent thousands of ships across the Atlantic. By placing these events in a different timeline, the unanswered questions of Olmec history begin to find context in a broader African legacy.